Yes, lads, welcome to episode 20 of the Under 23 Sorare Road to Glory on my YouTube channel. If you're new to the channel, guys, and you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. And if you do enjoy this series, please do always give the videos a like. Honestly, it means the absolute world to me. I'm buzzing for this episode because we've got a load more leagues coming back this weekend. I've been craving it for a while, lads. I'm sure you have as well. We've only had Turkey over this Christmas period, a bit of Premier League as well. But the majority of leagues are back this weekend, and I'm absolutely buzzing for it. So first of all, let me update you guys on what has happened over the last week or so as far as ins and outs. So as you can see, the Paul Bernardoni's obviously gone. I ended up giving that card away. Unfortunately, the news broke like a couple days after that the team he plays for, Konyaspor, whoever it is, are not paying their players or something. So something, not good's going on there. So I'm sorry, whoever did win the Paul Bernardoni. You might not get immediate utility out of him, but he's young enough, even though he doesn't look it. He looks about 40. That, he will be a playing card, a playing goalkeeper at some point, I assume. Just not as soon as we would have hoped. But yeah, that's just the problems you get in Turkey sometimes with those teams, not playing players. But anyway, aside from that, we have brought in two new defenders in the form of Alan Montes, who is playing for Nexeca in the Mexican League, which is back this weekend. I actually have him at rare. That's how I kind of knew about him. And I saw his price. It was like £3. And you know what? We were in need of a defender this weekend. He has a good matchup and he's capable of some big scores. He's a centre-back, under 23 until 2025. So it just makes sense for our gallery in the under 23 sense, but also, for the Cap 240 and Cap 220s. And then we brought in another Mateus Rio, who we've already bought before. We paid £3.17 5 months ago for that card. We have the new season card for 82p. It looks like he's kind of broke back into the side. He was injured. He went rogue. We know the situation with him. But he's played the last two games, and he is 70% on play sharper to play this weekend. So we are going to utilize both of his cards because, a lot of leagues are back, but there is still the Belgium League to come back. There's a couple of other ones as well that we don't have full utility of our gallery right now. We have the majority of it back, don't get me wrong, but there is still a couple of leagues to come back, which is always fun. As far as the spreadsheets looking, lads, so we got rid of our Balki, who had a double game week last midweek where we couldn't really utilize him because we only had 3 players. We sold him for a whopping profit of £1.85 profit, which was actually really, really good, if I'm being honest, because, we don't tend to sell many players, in the series, but when we do, we are looking to try and make a profit. We did really well on that Eccles quite a while back now. We also got rid of Costa, who we paid £2.18 for. We sold him for £3.04 after the 5% market fee, which was an 86p profit. And then we've gone and spent £3.31 on Montes and then 82p on that Mateus Rio. But can I just show you, lads, that Da Costa fella, the week that we actually sold him, even though we couldn't have actually used him in the sense like we didn't have enough cards to play, he ended up scoring like 90 something. Here he is, Nuno Da Costa. Yeah, have a look at this. Yeah, he scored 92. So great timing from us, of course. And now look at that. Oh my God, I didn't even realize. He's gone up to £8. Jesus. Well, that's what he was. I guess he's a little bit lower now. What is he trading for? He's trading for £6. So, okay, fair enough. We've missed the boat on that one. We didn't time that one correctly, unfortunately. But, you can't get them all right. We probably got the Balki one right because he's now trading for a lot less, I believe, than £3 odd. It's 42 limiteds on sale, which is crazy. Yeah, you can, well, not a lot less, but yeah, he's £2.50 now, basically. So, we kind of timed that one good-ish. But yeah, we didn't quite managed to see the high on Costa, but it is what it is. No looking back. We've got £7.25 in the balance, and yeah, we're in a pretty healthy position. As far as this weekend, though, we have got a couple of options, to kind of utilize. So Cap 220 long form has come back again, which is fun. So, over the next 8 game weeks, your 4 highest scores are going to contribute, well, my 4 highest scores and yours if you're going to play it, to trying to win these prizes. Basically, we've got 1,500 prizes on offer. They're giving out, basically last time you could win tier 4s and tier 5s, and we won a tier 5 if you remember, in one of the last episodes. But what they've decided to do now, because no one wants tier 4s and tier 5s, they're only giving a minimum of a tier 3, but obviously less reward. So that should be fun. I think we should aim for it. With the gallery that we have, it kind of makes sense for us to do so. As well as that, we will be playing Cap 240 Limited as probably our sort of priority lineup this weekend. And then we're going to try and fit in the rest to probably under 23 Limited because, yeah, matchups don't look great from a glance after, before recording this, I had a little look at, what we've got going on. And, yeah, it doesn't look great. We've got a lot of away fixtures. But yeah, it's still fun. We've got, loads and loads of matchups to get into. And yeah, more teams to put out than usual. So that is always, always fun. Now, as far as Play Sharper goes, we always have a look at the expected scores and the star predictions of our players. Alan Montas, our new signing, is at the top of that with a 90% start prediction. And he has a nice home fixture, 56.6 expected score from him, with his L15 being 48. And that's always a good sign, for playing a player in Cap 240. You want him to outscore his L15. And in this case, with the fixture at home, starter prediction, obviously, it all kind of falls into place for Montes. It seems on paper that he should outscore that L15. Ivan Heel, 60% with a good fixture at home. We've got Lucas Zidane, who is our new goalkeeper. We got kindly donated by our good friend Sam Tai, the football guy. They're at home to Racing Santander, which won't be easy. But nonetheless, decent L15 at 45. I think he should. I'd hope he outscores that. We've got Clerk in there at 95%, Monchu at 90, but we all know Monchu hates playing away from home. We can disregard Suso. He's just a random card that isn't involved in this series. We've got Mateus Rio at 70%, which is nice to see, away from home. Brennan Johnson at 95%, which is lovely, away to United. Mohamed Cham's injured, which is really annoying. We've got Campos at 90%, so it looks like he has won his place back. Khalifa Koulibaly doesn't have predictions yet. We've got Jorgen Larsson away to Mallorca, who's been decent recently, L5 of 60, so he's on good form. And then Campelat, who, to be fair, he is back in the side. We don't have to worry, I don't think, fingers crossed, about his position at Pendixpor, even though they are struggling, as a team. They might get relegated. So that is obviously an issue. And then we've got Driouech away to PSV, hardest team in the league to play against. And then we've got Nice Duhara, who's at 70%. I think Leganes have a couple of players at AFCON. And yeah, it looks like he might get a chance in the side as well. So yeah, as far as, looking at what we want to play, like I said, 240, 220 is definitely on the cards. And then, we have 3 goalkeepers to play, basically. So we might as well utilize that as best we can. I did do a bit of digging as far as, what I could bring in common player-wise for 220. Because if I am going to play, a limited goalkeeper, I need to play, an outfielder that's common. So that is obviously on the cards as well. And you know what, lads? It's probably time to get into some lineup building for this upcoming weekend. 240 is going to be our bread and butter this weekend, lads. We don't really have all our options back. So, we're not at full strength. We're probably at like 70-odd%, couple of injuries, couple of leagues still not back. So, you know what? We can probably field some decent lineups. Nothing crazy. I think the goals for this weekend should be, can we hit the threshold in limited? Can we put out a good score in 220 to kick us off for that long form competition? And then, the scraps go into under 23 limited. If anything happens with that, as far as rewards go, then great. But I don't really foresee it, just judging off the matchups so far. So as far as goalies go, Lucas Zidane has the best matchup as far as, clean sheet odds. Amorbieta away to Real Oviedo, which isn't great, and Campelat is away to Hatayspor. So yeah, not great. The only goalkeeper we have at home is Zidane. And he does have a nice, they all have relatively low L15s, probably bar Campos, but Lucas Zidane's at 45 is definitely something we want to utilize. As far as matchups here go, Montes, like I said, we did bring him in this weekend. He is under 23, but we did kind of bring him in because he could be quite valuable in this 240 competition for us. Great matchup at home, 32% clean sheet probability. To be fair, that is actually quite in line with, the rest of the clean sheet probabilities of our players, with Ryu away from home and Clerk as well. But we always fancy the home fixture first, lads. So Montes goes in there, L15 of 48. As far as midfielders go, Monchu at 55 L15, away from home. Although they're playing somebody, lower down in the league, I still don't really fancy it. And then, you've got Ivan Heel, who is playing at home. Okay, he's not at 90%, he's at 60%. There's definitely risk there. But 46 L15 at home to Leganes, I do feel like that could be the play. Like I said, disregard the Suso play because he is just a random card that I have in my gallery, but it's not part of this series. So, yeah, you can disregard that. I think it's basically out of Ivan Heel and Monchu because Cham's injured and obviously Suso isn't part of the series. So I'm going to go with Heel for now because he does have the lower L15 and he is at home. And then as far as forwards go, it's an interesting one because Koulibaly is at home, to be fair to him. We've got Brennan Johnson away to United. We've got Larsson away, Driouech away to PSV. Like I said, really tough fixture there. And then Duhara is away to Ivan Heel, technically. They're playing each other, Leganes versus Andorra. And, I mean, on the surface of things, Koulibaly's probably the play. Lowest L15, he's at home. Green Camp are a better team than, the team he plays for in that sense, but I still think we could probably get away with that one. Let's throw him in for now, at home as well. So we've got 4 out of 4 home fixtures, which is lovely to see. And then for the extra position, we've got 55 L15 points left. We could go with Monchu, who's away, of course. We've got Clerk as well, who's at L15 of 55. They play away to Tenerife, which won't be an easy game. Let's go and have a look at Clerk's sort of scores away from home and just see what he is capable of. So, I mean, 40 L15 there in a 2-0 away win is quite tasty. 26 with a yellow card there in a 2-0 loss away to Espanyol. Didn't score very well against Oviedo. They did concede 3 goals, to be fair, so you can't really knock him too much for that. And then, yeah, 24 AA, 15 AA. I mean, I don't think it's going to be an easy game for him and Elche in that sense against Tenerife, but I still fancy him to do decently well. So he is definitely somebody I'm thinking of. His L15 stats as far as what he averages away from home. So all in all, he averages 55 in the last 6 months. Away, he averages 49. At home, he averages 59. So, the away play isn't great as far as how his L15 is split up. When you look at Monchu, so if we go last 6 months, 56 L15. Away, it's a 49, and at home, it's a 62. So even, more of a discrepancy between the home and away form of those two players. Obviously got Larson in there as well. We could go double forward, technically. I'm not totally against that. Mallorca away. The boy's on fire, to be fair. Let's have a look at his L15. So you go 48. At home, he averages 48. And then away, he averages 47. So quite a fair split as far as his goals go and obviously assists and whatever. We've obviously got Brennan as well, who could do a job away to United. I don't really see that being a terrible fixture for Spurs. Anyone that plays United right now are having a whale of a time, I think. So, yeah, I don't think that's necessarily a bad fixture for Brennan. My issue kind of is, if we don't play Clerk here, we aren't going to play him in under 23 limited. And then he's not going to fit into 220 realistically. Where, like, if we don't play Montre in 220, he can obviously play in under 23 limited. So that is something I'm quite wary of. I mean, we don't necessarily have to play under 23 limited. We could just play All-Star limited if we don't have the players to do so. So, I'm not totally against that. Montre's probably going to get he is going to get a better AA score than Larson. It's just whether or not Larson gets that goal. You know what? I'm going to throw Monchu in. To be honest, I'm going to captain Montes. We're going to go over to 220 now because, like I said, that is going to be, our next priority as far as, what we want to do this weekend. Campbell has a way lower L15 than Campos. Better fixture marginally, so he has to play in there for us. I'm going to fit in Lazio's Mattia Zakanji, who plays at home to Lecce. 47 L15, has been playing quite well recently as far as, what he can do. I think he plays more of a forward, or, on the field, he actually plays as a forward, but he is a midfielder card, and it still scores pretty well. We've got 136 points left then. We probably have to play Duhara somewhere, because his L15 is very low at 38. So that leaves us 98 points. If we fit Clerk in, we've got 43 points left. That's annoying, because it would have been nice to have played, we could have played Ryu and Clerk, but that doesn't look like it's possible. So let's say we fit Ryu in here then. We've got 54 points left. It's either Larson or Brennan Johnson, basically, isn't it? I've got a fancy Tottenham to go get a decisive or two away to United. And if they do, you just got to hope that Brennan's, involved in that sense. I'd be tempted to even captain him as well. I know his XP isn't great, but, what can you do? Yeah, the issue is now we can't even play an under 23. Well, we can't even play another team in general without it being, Cham as a DMP because played Monchu in here. And you know what? Not a lesson, but this is something that sometimes you've just got to bite the bullet on. Like, okay, I wanted three lineups. I wanted to play an under 23 limited or even an all-star limited. I can, but the issue is I'm not going to have a playing midfielder. I could technically use that Suso, to be fair. He isn't part of the gallery, but just on a bit of a random one. That's Suso that I own. Yeah, there we go. So 1 over 2 years ago. It's like this fancy, special edition Suso card that I've had for ages. And yeah, I've just never wanted to sell him. Obviously, he was a reward. You could only win these cards by, winning. I think you had to come like top 100 maybe in this special Game Week 200 competition. It was a special weekly, I think. And do we think it's okay for me to play him in this All-Star Limited lineup? Let me know. Should we include him as part of the Road to Glory? Let me know in the comment section. I'm gonna field him here for now. We could play our other Mateus Ryu instead of Drioet, which could probably be the best shout because yeah, I just can't see how Drew Edge scores very well against PSV. You know what? Why not? We'll captain Suso because it's a throwaway lineup. And you know what I'll do? Normally, obviously, I'll give all the rewards I win in this series away at the end of the season. But for this special sort of game week, because we are using this Suso, if this lineup wins something, I know the chances of this lineup winning something is incredibly low. But if it does, I'll give that card away in the next episode. Just let me know in the comments what your Sorare name is, and yeah, and we can just give the card away if we do win something from that All-Star Limited. Like I said, I really don't think we will, but you just never know. Football is a funny old game. So it kind of leaves us then with 2 lineups, well, 2.5 lineups. We've got the 240 Limited, all at home bar Monchu. We've got the 220 Limited, all away bar Zakanji, and then we've got that All-Star Limited. Like I said, we'll be giving away anything that lineup wins will go to you in the next episode. Just comment below your Sorare gallery name, let me know you're here. Right, lads, I hope you enjoyed episode 20. It feels good to be putting out multiple lineups again. It's been a while since we've done so. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great game week as well, and I shall see you guys in the next episode.